What's going on, Cubs fam? We are back for another Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes video, and my people, I am beyond thrilled to have a big member of the Star Wars YouTube community on this channel today to talk about recent events in Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes, EckhartsLadder. EckhartsLadder, could I call you Justin in the video?
Yeah, whatever you want. Can I just say too, like that intro got me hyped up.
Yeah, that's right. Every time I say, sometimes people tell me like you're yelling at the beginning of videos. I'm like, but my intro gets me hyped. I'm so excited to record.
And like the production quality and everything. You got the changing lights and stuff in the room. It's just next level.
Well, okay, here I got to show you at the beginning of this video though. The best part. I have you can't buy these at Galaxy's Edge. I have got Princess Leia's lightsaber.
From episode 9?
From episode 9. You like that?
I didn't even know there was a good enough shot to get that.
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh, yeah. This is 3D printed. A buddy of mine made it. So, yeah, Princess Leia.
That's funny because I was looking in the comments of the video I uploaded and people were asking what that was. They were like, what's that lightsaber in front of Baby Yoda? And I didn't know. So.
Yeah, it's Princess Leia's. You can update them now or I'll go find them. So, yeah, you know, Princess Leia's, of course, Luke's below it. That's my Savi's Workshop lightsaber right here. And then down there is the Rey reforged Skywalker saber. So
very cool.
Well, EckhartsLadder, I want to thank you, and I think everyone in the video right now, everyone in the comments, I want you all to go down and thank EckhartsLadder, not just for coming on this video, but for being an advocate for our community outside of our community. I think we've been really frustrated with recent events, with selective banning by CG, with how they've handled cheaters, and I think it's easy to feel kind of alone in our pocket of the galaxy. And we've seen things like Battlefront 2 where there's enough outrage that change occurs. And someone like you covering this issue is one of those things that can help that ball start rolling. And so I just want to thank you for that personally, EckhartsLadder, and kind of start off by asking you why this issue caught your attention and what your reaction was and why you decided to make videos on it.
Yeah, so I mean, I actually started playing Galaxy of Heroes right when it first came out. Like 2015, was it? Or
yeah, November 2015.
Yeah, so I got in one of the early shards, right? And then I took a break for a while, and I came back, and like it's been a while since I've played, but I remember in like the PvP matches, I was always being matched up with people who'd been playing a long time when I had been I'd taken a couple years off. So I am familiar with the game. I do appreciate it. I'm not one of those people who's against mobile gaming or anything like that. I play Clash Royale. I'm not sure if you're familiar with that one, but I play Clash Royale. But it's just, I just feel like there's been a level of BS that's been steadily increasing with this game. And like, that's to say nothing about the incredible like money and time gate that's into games like this. Like the amount of money you need to spend to level a character up all the way. Like I'm sure all your viewers are more familiar with this than I am, so I don't need to explain it. But just from the outside in, like I remember meeting all of you guys back in 2017, I think was the first time we all met. And you guys were all really cool. Like I met you, Arnold, and Mobile Gamer, and Warrior, and I think some others. And it was just so cool. And just to see your guys' frustration as people who like are a part of this community and are making content, and how they've treated you guys from the canceling of the Game Changer program to the ending of the test accounts and now to this. It's just like almost mind boggling. Like, and I was kind of there. Like I remember I talked with Mobile Gamer when they were ending the Game Changer program. Like I think I had him on for a stream, and like this, the stuff he was telling me about how Capital Games was acting, I found it really hard to believe, but it's been that time and time again. So like for me, I feel like it's almost my duty to talk about it because like there needs to be a bigger focus on what's going on. Like the things that have been happening with this game are far more egregious. And we talked about this before we started recording. In my opinion, are far more egregious than what happened with Star Wars Battlefront 2, especially given the history of everything else. And there's been not enough attention. So that's kind of my impetus to be making these videos.
Oh man, it feels really good to hear that validation, because I think a lot of us feel the same way, where we look at what happened with Battlefront 2 and we think, wow, there was so much outrage with that. The community jumped on it. The gaming community as a whole jumped on it and changed came through that, and this feels so much worse to us, and we don't feel like we can get a voice out there to have anything happen. I think that's kind of, I think one of the overarching feelings I have about this is almost this helplessness. There's nothing I can do. And so I think that the only thing we can do is just try to get the word out and try to tell our story and have more people like you catch on to this. And so that's why I again just can't thank you enough for being one of those people. Do you think this is something that could catch the ears of other YouTubers, gaming journalists, or anything like that? Do you think that's possible, or do you think that there's kind of this acceptance in the gaming community that mobile games are just shady, and so we're just going to kind of take a sidestep on it?
I think you covered the two main issues. There is the overwhelming bias against mobile games, and I say it's a bias, but a lot of it is deserved. There are good mobile games out there. There are bad ones. You know, the community around. I just saw the hold up maneuver. That was pretty cool.
Wasn't that cool? That ability is called the hold up maneuver.
Sorry.
That dude is EckhartsLadder's a ship. If you guys don't know him, he's a ships guy, and so that definitely appealed to him.
I'm distracted by shiny things as well. But the community around, games and games like this, it proves that there is value there. There is that overwhelming bias, but I also did upload a video yesterday on this on my channel, and it's sitting near, probably over by the time we recorded this, 200,000 views in I think just over 24 hours. That's really good for me. And I'm not trying to profit off, because that was one thing I was worried about. I'm not trying to come into the community and monetize your guys' anger.
No, but if anybody feels that way, they're dumb. Nobody feel that way. That's stupid. That's not what this is about. Yeah.
But like the level of reaction that I've seen to this tells me that there is the potential for this to, really be picked up elsewhere. And I'm kind of wondering myself why other Star Wars YouTubers or other gaming YouTubers haven't seen the views that we're all getting on this topic within the community and started making content. Like, say what you will about them, there's a whole group of people who basically make their YouTube career off pointing out BS in gaming, and it's not necessarily a bad thing. Like, this is a Jim Sterling episode waiting to happen, or whoever else.
Yes.
So like, on one hand, the fact that it's people have low standards for mobile games kind of hurts it in that respect. On the other hand, if you point out this is another issue in a long line of issues, then that's where the real attention comes in. Like, personally, if this were just Mobile Gamer losing one of his accounts, I would still be frustrated because it would still feel like, it was just Arnold losing one of his accounts. I would still be frustrated because it feels targeted. But the greater issue is that this represents a total loss of transparency because of the lack of test accounts and game changers in a game that has a very, very high paywall or time wall.
I think that's really interesting that you put it that way. And I think it goes beyond this. There's a general, I think, ethical concern with predatory spending practices, predatory practices in general in mobile gaming. And I think you kind of see it. It makes me wonder if this issue were to get on one of those big channels, come to light a bit more, could this be a catalyst for change in mobile gaming in general? Because I think this is showing you just how bad it gets when these predatory practices are a part of your business model, because you get to a point where you've got people so hooked and so gone and so sunk fallacied into your game, sunk cost fallacied into your game, that you feel like you can get away with negotiating with cheaters and not banning them and treating your community this way. It's like, I think it just shows you how bad and how far this road goes. And it makes me beg the question, what is next for Capital Games if they're not held accountable? And right now, I mean, EckhartsLadder, I think you could agree. There's your hollow maneuver again. I put two in there for you. It shows you like just how far they can go. And I don't want to know what the next step is. So.
Yeah, and when you're in the community, you do slowly kind of get normalized to it, like the lobster in boiling water or anything in boiling water, as long as you boil it slowly, you might not notice. But from an outsider perspective, like I was already familiar with much of this stuff, but when you put it together, not being in the community day to day, it really kind of points out how bad it is.
Mm,
So, there are people who, like, I'm thinking of the other people watching those Clash Royale videos that I watch, and Clash Royale has had some issues too, but generally that game has much less of a money gate. There's definitely still is one, but I don't think anyone spent 50 grand. Um,
right.
there's, I think, more consistent action against cheaters, and when there is, inconsistency, it's a big thing, and that's just my comparison. So if there was even just that issue of going against one creator, that would be a big deal. But then when you talk about all that those other issues regarding transparency and whatever not, like from the outside looking in, it's really really bad, and you haven't had time to normalize to it. So there just needs to be more eyes on the issue, because when I put my video out, there were a ton of non-Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes people who saw it and who commented, and they didn't, they felt just as frustrated
Yeah.
as everyone else.
Yeah, and to all of those people, I say thank you. Please join us in our frustration. And something that we talked about in your video, which we recorded a video for your channel. I want everyone to go check that out. I'll pin it below. It's already live by the time this goes live, and hopefully it has another 200,000 eyeballs on it. But something that we hit on over there is that this issue is not something that only Galaxy of Heroes players should be concerned about. This is something that should go well beyond that, because right now, especially because we've seen a game like Battlefront 2 get shut down as far as live updates are concerned. The game's obviously still up there, but they're stopping their live updates because the game isn't grossing enough, or whatever it may be. And we've got a game like Galaxy of Heroes still receiving full support, and this is how the community is treated. And so what message is this sending from EA to Star Wars gamers of what is appropriate in Star Wars games in general? And what does that mean for the future of Star Wars games if this is what is happening? And so EckhartsLadder, from your perspective, you are a passionate Star Wars fan. And your knowledge of Star Wars, like everyone in the comments, you don't know as much as EckhartsLadder. I'm sorry. Maybe there's one or two of you out there, but you know so much about Star Wars. You love Star Wars games.
Yeah.
You're such a passionate fan. How does it feel from your perspective, and what kind of confidence does it give you in EA looking towards the future of Star Wars games?
Yeah, and we are in a weird point for Star Wars games too, because we're honestly in a bit of a transitionary period. Not only are we between major EA games releases, we've got no real active games besides for Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes. We don't even have other mobile games really.
Yeah.
But we're also at the point where we're looking at whether EA will get that license renewal, or whether the license will be maybe exclusive to another publisher, maybe spread across publishers. We don't know. But what's important now is that, and especially EA, I think generally that EA has done a good job. People are going to say I'm an EA apologist or whatever, especially because I'm a game changer. I'm really not, but I do think EA has made a concerted effort to improve how they are seen by the gaming community. EA was like literally the face of evil a few years ago. But I think they've made really good strides, especially in the Star Wars niche, with how they've released Jedi Fallen Order, which was a good game.
Agreed.
And generally without BS. I don't know. Am I able to swear?
Go for it. Normally I don't, but with this issue, I'm just like, just go for it. Say what you want.
I'll just say bullshit and leave it at that for the video. But so yeah, they put out a good game without BS, no microtransactions, no always online, no anything like that. They rejuvenated Star Wars Battlefront 2, and that seems like it maybe wasn't worth it because the game wasn't profitable. And now we've got a major issue now that's kind of infecting their most popular remaining ongoing game, and a time when there's really no eyes on anything else. There's not even Lego Star Wars out yet.
Yeah.
So I think the community reaction and whether anything is able to happen will determine a lot. I'm not going to say that it's totally going to define EA's future or anything like that, or Star Wars gaming future, but like, if you care about this, you should at least, go post on the Reddit, go watch some videos. Like, all of your favorite Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes content creators have made videos about this subject. And they're all really passionate. I will say the Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes, I wish I liked the game more because you guys all make really good videos.
Oh, I wish you played it too, man. But you know what? It's probably best that you just keep doing your shit videos and stay away from this crap.
I'm hoping that eventually there's a new game that everyone can get behind.
Yes.
That on a side note, that I don't know if you played that Lego, like it's kind of like a Clash Royale game.
I know which one you're talking about. Yeah, it's not out yet. I'm looking into it.
Yeah, I played it. I played it with a VPN or something. It's pretty fun. So hopefully something like that comes along. But it's just, I don't know if we can get this like a bit more publicity. I think there could be it could be a force for good. You know, take every knock as an opportunity, because this is just exposing the BS that's been happening in the game for a while in like a really concrete way. So.
Well, I think this is a good place to kind of wrap up, because you hit on something really interesting that I totally agree with. Is I do feel like EA has made strides, and I thought about something when you were talking about that, because combining what they did with Fallen Order, which I think they nailed Fallen Order. The only thing I wish that they had is DLC for it, which I would have happily spent money on. You know, I know they're probably nervous to do any microtransactions of any kind, even alluding to it right now because of Battlefront. But I wanted so much more. So give me Battlefront. Give me a second one at least. And then also how they recovered from the Battlefront 2 fiasco was just amazing. I mean, I still think there's a perception with some people in the Galaxy of Heroes community who never gave Battlefront a chance after the initial release, did not realize just how much DICE redeemed themselves.
Yeah, a lot of goodwill.
A lot of their... And I think, I hope that something EA pays attention to is that this can damage that effort that they've put into. This can damage how much effort they've done to save the Star Wars brand, and to have this pocket of the community, as outraged as we are, is not something that should fall on deaf ears. It's something that should be paid attention to. And so I hope it does in EckhartsLadder. Justin, thank you very, very much for giving us a little bit more of a voice that extends beyond our normal reach, and I hope others follow suit.
Yeah, no, thank you very much. All I'll say, like the last thing I want to say, is put that outrage into behavior in some way. Like if you're angry about something, do something.
Yes.
So if they're, if somebody organizes a spending boycott or a game boycott, even if just for a day, trust me, those people know numbers. They're looking at numbers all the time, literally probably on an hourly basis, to see, how people are reacting to whatever. So if there's a new character that comes out, maybe that'd be a good time to boycott, or just, a random Monday, or to stop spending, or to just make your voice heard, whatever. It's not going to be the end of the world either way, but if it's something you guys care about, and, this is your community, this is your game, it's not going to be around forever, it should at least be a pleasant thing while it is.
Pleasant! The audaciousness of this man, everyone. The audaciousness of this man. All right, everyone. Thanks again for joining me for the video. And as always, my brothers, don't forget,